All right, beautiful people. Thank you for joining us for another amazing and impactful episode of the True Health Forever podcast, where we try to live our best life through the lens of holistic health. I'm your host, Devon Truvel, creator of Black Wall Street, the board game. And as usual, I have with me the earring wearing, the lip popping. I don't know if that's Vaseline or cocoa butter, but it's popping. The curls popping, the smiling queen herself. Please introduce yourself.
What's up, party people? My name is Sinclair, aka
The
Health
Health
Nerd,
Nerd.
and we are bringing you this podcast on the Sunday afternoon. It's actually pretty nice weather today. It's nice and sunny. I know you kind of have a long day.
Indeed.
I feel like usually it's either we both have long days or one of us has a really long day.
Somebody is always busy.
I actually have a pretty chill day, and I'm excited about it.
You just gonna rub that in, huh? That's what you gotta do.
Sorry about that.
It's cool. It's cool. But how was your week, Queen? Let's talk about your week, your vibes, any notable things that you would like to share with the folks. Mm-hmm. It's a cute thinking face.
How was my week? It's like when you ask what'd you have for lunch yesterday? It's like how was my week? I think my week was pretty good. I think it was just a kind of like a chill week. I think that's why nothing really memorable is popping out to me too much. But that's good. Good or bad, nothing like super memorable is popping up. So I think it was a pretty chill week, which is good.
Nice.
I'm like officially, what's the date? A month out from
I have no idea
graduation.
What date it is. It's the 15th or 14th.
One of those, which means I graduate in like a month.
Which means we graduate in a month.
So it's exciting. Like the final countdown, working on the final assignments, which is exciting. So I'm just ready to be done.
Congrats, Queen.
How was your week, Quinn?
My week was a little bit of a stressful week because again, this was had another big event on Friday. The power went out Friday morning, so we woke up no power. Had to leave the spot to go back to work to get better Wi-Fi. And then Friday night was one of my friend's birthdays, so he had like a little birthday event. You know, we were out there popping. We'll get into that a little bit later, but yeah, that was a fun event. But yeah, overall I think the week was a little bit on the stressful side. Next week should be more chill. I don't think there's any work events, so I'll have some time to breathe, heal, get back to my normal kind of daily grind. Like last week my daily routines were a little bit messed up a little bit, so hopefully next week get back to my daily grind. But wanted to talk a little bit about the event that we went to. First of all, signs of getting old. Right? Signs of getting old. When it's like 9 o'clock, 9:30, and you're already yawning.
It's 9:30 and starting yawning.
It was
my first yawn happened at 4:49 p.m.
Oh wow.
4:49 p.m. I yawned. I was like, "Oh Lord, here we go."
It's a long night. But shout out to Isaac. Congratulations on another amazing year on this planet. Legend in the making for sure. So he had a cool little event where he was performing live. He had artists come out, do their spoken word, freestyle rap, singing. It was definitely a nice little vibe. But if you put on the flyer,
what are the rules?
Well, yeah, let's do a little. What are the rules? If you put on the flyer that your event starts at 9:15, at what time does your event actually need to start? Right? I understand it's gonna be late. I understand that, but if it says 9:15, at what point does the event actually begin? Sinclair, what are your thoughts? What are the rules? What's the buffer of time?
So I've told you. First of all, let's preface this conversation. Anybody who knows Devon knows that he is the world's most punctual person, which means it doesn't matter what the event is. Whatever time you advertise, he/we, I'm now roped into this. He/we will be there 5 minutes before that time.
Yes.
Okay? So if your flyer says 9:15, best believe, unless I intervene, we're rolling up at 9:10. Now, to a normal person, whatever time you want people to show up, you start it. The start time is usually like at least an hour before, right? So if you having a function and you want people to show up at 5, you put 4 on the flyer. Like everybody kind of knows that. Not my friend here. So my rule of thumb is like the absolute earliest you should ever show up. Now, I mean, like a wedding is different. Like a wedding,
is it though? Because the same thing happened for a wedding.
True. For the most part, look, for our wedding, it was true. We started that.
Yeah, no, we be here at this time, or the boat is leaving you
on shore. All right. But yeah, I think weddings like be on time. Otherwise, you might miss the ceremony or walk it in the middle of the ceremony. But for like parties, baby showers, anything like that, it's generally like I always say the absolute earliest you should show up is 30 minutes past the start time. Like the earliest, you still gonna be one of the first people there, which is precisely what happened to us.
Every time
we stopped to get food, we got there. It was 9:40. It was like 10 o'clock.
Yeah,
almost 10 o'clock before we went. and we were still.
Yeah. Long story short, the event didn't start until like 11. Music wasn't like played until like 11. And we're old. She was yawning at 4 p.m. I was yawning at 9. So by the time 11 came, we wanted to stay to hear the music, get the vibe. So we ended up staying until like 12:30.
Something like that.
Something late. But y'all, hurt. I'm still healing mentally and emotionally today off of the sleep that I was losing.
Very much so.
Yesterday I was hurt. Today I'm like, I'm not completely myself yet. Long story short, signs of aging. Just wanted to bring that to you in case you're dealing with some of these early signs as well. Fight back. I don't know how you fight back. If you got tips for us, how we can fight back, because we want to still be young. We want to still be able to be with our socialized friends and have a good time. But yeah. Anyway.
Well, the only way we survived was because of the rock star that we drank. But right. I'm, not a super big advocate for drinking energy drinks on a regular basis. It's on a need-based basis. But, any other more natural tricks you got to stay up when you need to stay up, please throw them our way.
Please do. And I'm saying, so as y'all know, we're trying a new setup. We're about to get into the actual podcast episode. And I see when I look straight for longer, it focuses better. As soon as I turn to the side, it focuses on something else, which is an interesting thing. Because today we're going to be talking about key performance indicators.
Yep.
That was the smoothest accidental transition I've ever done.
I was like, where is he going with this?
It was the smoothest, but completely accidental transition. So today we're talking about KPIs, key performance indicators. The Queen will break that down later on, but it's really high level things that you can do in your life and your business to make sure you are on track. Without further ado, let's get into the episode. Queen. Again, I'm gonna keep looking straight just so I can remain visible here. I know you're all right.
I'm still here. Over here.
So KPIs, you are rounding your last month in your MBA program. So can you talk a little bit about what KPIs, how they're used in business, and then how maybe we can translate those to personal? Break it down for us, Queen. What are they?
KPI stands for K.
Good job. Yes, ma'am. They do.
KPI stands for key performance indicators.
There we go.
KPI.
Signs of aging, y'all.
And they can be literally applied to anything. But as he mentioned, it's in general. How are you measuring your success? How do you know if you are winning or you are losing? That's how I like to, I deal with this a lot at work. That's the easiest way that I like to describe it. How do you know if you are winning or losing? Is it based off, if it's just based off your emotions, then you in for a wild ride. up and down, up and down.
Right.
So you should have key performance indicators that show, right, if this, whether it's a usually something you can measure, right?
Not usually. I think
They should
be
always be
yeah,
something. Yes,
always
they should
something you
always
can
be
measure.
something you can measure, and we'll talk about later on how you can turn something that's not really able to be easily measured into something that can be measured. But how do you know if you're winning or losing? So in business, right?
Mm-hmm.
It can be, you can have a profit goal. It can be a customers. Whatever. Obviously, depending on the business, will determine what your KPIs are.
Right.
But basically, it is what numbers, what metrics are you looking at?
So I was trying to stop distracting you.
What numbers or metrics are you looking at to determine whether you are successful or not successful? And by not successful, it could just mean you're in a stage where you need to reevaluate and figure out how you need to get back on track. But yeah, that's in a nutshell, right? And you also can have personal key performance indicators. It could be like your bank account, right? What is your bank account at? That is something very easily measurable. If you say, I always want to have at least this amount of money in my bank account, that's something that's measurable. You could look at your phone at any point and say, I'm winning or I'm losing.
Right.
So you want to make it as easy as possible to say, like, thumbs up, thumbs down. We use charts a lot at my job, whether it's a green, you get green or red, or sometimes yellow. And usually the thumbs up obviously means you are succeeding. Thumbs down means you're not quite where you need to be.
Need a little bit of work.
And the yellow can sometimes mean you're better than you were last time this year, nice, but not quite where you want to be.
Nice. Yeah. So the why we are covering KPIs. Okay. So the why for KPIs is, in business, you obviously need to make sure you are constantly checking your progress to making sure that you are making progress forward. Same thing with your personal life. The steps you're using per day, your personal bank account, calories or meals, how many thank yous you give to people, how many hugs you give to people, whatever it is, you want to make sure. Yeah, wait, if you want to do that. Like, there are key things that you can be measuring to see your own personal health and success as a person. So we're not gonna, force all of y'all to be really nitpicky and analytical for your business, or for not for your business. You should be doing that, but for your personal, because you want to be able to live life freely without necessarily measuring a whole bunch of stuff. But we do want you to think of what are maybe one or two things that you can measure that right now you are trying to get better at doing. Okay, so KPIs, they're used very much so for business, like the Queen says, but we're going to try to talk about how you can use them both for business and for improving your own personal life as well today. Queen, anything else you want to talk about before we go off into how you can figure out what your KPIs can be?
Just piggybacking off of what you said in terms of like when you're talking about your personal life, right? In business, you usually will have a list of KPIs, right? You may have your financial one, your operational one, your quality one, your safety one, whatever. But in your personal life, like you said, do what you want. But our suggestion is maybe start with one or two, right? And then you can build off of that. But like you said, you still kind of want to enjoy your life. You don't want to become a person that's like, oh, I can't do that. It's gonna, you don't you don't want to become a robot. But you definitely, you give yourself one or two things that generally guide, right? What are just one or two things you want to work on? It's best probably to start with one, right? What's just one thing I want to work on, and how am I going to measure if I'm actually improving on that one thing?
There it is. All right. So next section, let's talk about the how. And I know you have like a set system that you kind of want to walk through a little bit, but like just set questions that people can be asking themselves to figure them out, or specific goals that they have, and they can break down that goal into little micro goals. Talk to us, Queen. How can folks really determine their KPIs for their personal health?
Yeah. So I think step number one, for whatever you're applying this to, but if we're talking about personal life, step number one is to determine what your goal is. Where are you trying to go? So right, if you're trying to be healthy, healthy is a very broad term. And if you ask different people, it's going to mean different things to different people. So if you're trying to be healthy, then what does that look like to you? What does that mean to you? Does that mean you've reached your ideal weight? Does that mean you've reached some measurements? Does that mean you had more energy? Does that mean that you're just more mobile? You're able to do more things without? Does it mean you're pain free? Does it mean whatever aches and pains that you've been going through are now a thing of the past? Does it mean that you are eating a certain way, eating a certain diet, whatever it is? Decide what that goal is for you. Whether it's maybe another one is involving your finances. Maybe you're trying to invest a certain amount of money. Maybe you're trying to save a certain amount of money so you can invest it. Maybe you're trying to save money so you can buy a house, start a business, whatever it is. What are some other examples
of personal finance KPIs?
No, just personal goals maybe that people might be able to reach or
It
might be
could
trying
be networking. Like
Mhm.
maybe you want to meet more people. So it's like, okay, every month I want to befriend 5 new random people on LinkedIn, on Instagram, on Facebook, or in real life, which may be hard right now. But you just want to meet new people.
Find a
Um,
mentor.
yeah, I want to find 1 or 2 mentors for different goals. Maybe it's I want to. I remember you used to have this one. I want to call at least one family member or friend every week and actually talk to somebody. Like she said, like you can pick what your goal is, and then you kind of reverse engineer that. So again, if your goal is I want to feel more connected, because right now during COVID-19, maybe you're living by yourself and you feel kind of disconnected a little bit, and that's impacting your emotions, impacting your mental. All right, well, a KPI is how can I meet new people every week, every day, every month? How can I talk to, video chat with on the phone, IG live, whatever it is, with people that I know and love, so that way I still feel connected. So again, it doesn't have to be like real business focused. It doesn't have to be real like I'm doing all these things. Like it can be like one small intentional thing that you just need in your life right now.
It can be I'm trying to improve my marriage. It can be I'm trying to improve the relationship with my kids. Just figure out like what does the future you look like? And how is that different from where you are right now, right? Truvel.